think he has any intention of coming to New York. I don't understand why he would come to New York. He doesn't really have any. The Giants doesn't have anything to offer,
right?
That would entice Tom Brady to come. Like you're already coming off a bad situation in New England your last season there. Why would you want to come to the same situation in New York? We have a shitty offensive line. We have so-so receivers. Our best receiver is the tight end. Our best receiver is the tight end and the running back.
Yeah, right.
That's all you have.
Right.
Outside of that, we have nothing. Like, if you want to get sacked 100 times, then sure, come to New York. But outside of that, we have nothing to offer. We have a first-year coach who was a special teams coach, so I'm not holding my breath for that one. So if Tom wants to come, by all means, come. If you don't want to come, I don't blame you, brother.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. It's not a good fit. It's definitely not a good fit. I do think he stays with the Patriots, but that's another story. I think what you guys need right now, definitely on the defensive side, man. Y'all definitely need some linebackers. Y'all could.
Bro, we need everything.
Yeah. Y'all could use something on the defensive line.
Because our corners were pitiful last season. Our linebacking core was suspect.
Yeah.
Look, there's talks about the Giants drafting Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, number 4. That'd be great. But if I'm the Giants, what I would definitely address is the offensive line, because we need to protect Daniel Jones. We don't want him to be beat up and be damaged goods before he hits his 4th, 5th season with us. If the Giants play it smart, they can trade the 4th pick and potentially get 2 first-round picks in return later on in the draft. But at least it'd be 2 first-round picks.
Right.
If they want to play it smart, if they want to go ahead and draft Isaiah Simmons, by all means, I wouldn't be mad at that either. But we need to address more of the offensive line first before we address linebackers, because we need to protect our quarterback at all costs.
What about Chase Young? You think that's a possibility?
To be perfectly honest with you, no. If he's not going first, he's going second.
Y'all got the number 3 pick, right?
No, we got the 4. We got the 4 pick. So
okay.
He won't be around by 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I know the Redskins have talked about wanting to get Chase Young. They definitely need some help on defense, so I could see that.
No, the Redskins need more than help on defense. They need help everywhere.
Yeah, right.
They need everything.
Yeah, word. What about the Jets, man? I know you like clowning the Jets.
That's another story within itself. Definitely the Jets. They need receivers. They need the offensive line. The defense was so last season. They were ranked 14th in the league, which is not bad. But it's also not good either. But they were great against the run, so I would give them that much.
Right.
Like they held running back to under 90 yards per game, so I give them that much. But overall, the Jets need to definitely bolster their defense, especially the cornerback position. They definitely need corners. They need corners more desperately than the Giants do. They need better protection for Sam Darnold. And to be perfectly honest with you, they need a backup for Sam Darnold, because the backup they had for him last season was pretty terrible. So let me say a good solid veteran backup quarterback would be great, especially somebody you can learn from. Like, get you a good veteran you can learn from, calm him down a little bit, help out with reading the defense, and they can do better. I can see them being an 8-8 team if they just take care of a few things here and there, because they were surprisingly 7-9. At one point, they were looking like they were on a roll. But next year, I see them as an 8-8 team. Are they making the playoffs? No, they're still maybe another 2-3 years away from making the playoffs.
Hey, what if Brady don't come back to the Patriots? That division's wide open, right?
Definitely not for the Jets. That'd be if Brady doesn't come back to New England. That's Buffalo's division for the next maybe 2-3 seasons. If Brady chooses to come back, look, hey, Buffalo was surprising last season.
They
got busy.
They were, and I had to make Maestro a believer by about maybe week 13, week 14 with the Bills, but I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that was a soft schedule that the Bills had, and that to me, you got to show me again that with a tougher schedule this coming year. So check this out. They got the NFC West, which, you know, the Niners was in the Super Bowl. You still got the Rams that are still good. The Seahawks are good. And then you still got the, what division they play? They play the AFC West, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So you got Kansas City coming off the Super Bowl. I don't know what Oakland's going to be. I would think one of those other three teams.
No, they're not Oakland no more. It's all Vegas now.
Or Vegas, right. I don't know what the other three teams, I don't know what I expect from them, but Buffalo's schedule is definitely going to be tougher. And for me, I'm not sold yet on them kind of duplicating what they did or even be better than what they were last year. Now, we'll see what they do in the draft. We'll see what they do free agency. But I got to tell you, if Brady does not come back to New England, even for the Jets, that division, and I'd say for the Dolphins for that matter, because the Dolphins, you know, played some hard football, you know, coming down the stretch. That division's up for grabs.
Yeah, like, to be perfectly honest with you, if Brady decides to leave New England, you already know New England doesn't have a backup quarterback that could hold Brady's job. So that division's wide open. So don't be surprised if an 8-18 wins that division.
Yeah.
If Brady stays, it's New England's division to win regardless.
Yeah,
now,
right.
If Brady does decide to leave, I can see Brady going to either Las Vegas or I can see him going to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers of whatever.
Yeah.
However they want to put
it. They need to go back to San Diego.
Yeah. It's much better that way. But I can see him going to the Chargers. Because Philip Rivers, if he decides he wants to come, isn't Philip Rivers not even re-signed? Isn't he a free agent now?
Philip Rivers is a free agent, yeah.
So if Brady decides to go, that's it for Philip Rivers. He might as well just pack it up and retire.
It's a lot of quarterbacks, man. It's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, you know, with a lot of question marks on where they're going to end up. I mean,
you got Drew Brees as well.
Yeah, well, Brees announced that he's going back to play for the Saints. So at least that's already been solidified. But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other, you know, like we don't know what's going to happen with Cam Newton. We don't know what's going to happen with Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Tom Brady. Who knows if the Bears are going to want to get a veteran quarterback. You know, there's just teams out there with questions. And I tell you what, I'm not even sure that the Bengals, if they even draft Joe Burrow, is going to let Andy Dalton go or trade him. They might want to keep Joe Burrow on the bench for a year. I don't know.
No, yeah, that I can see them doing that. I can see them drafting Joe Burrow and keeping Andy Dalton at least for half the season. Once Dalton starts stinking up the field, then Burrow coming in.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is.
It's possible.
The spot warm until Burrow learns the offense a little bit. He sees a couple reps.
Yep.
In real time, not the preseason where guys are trying to get jobs. In real time during the regular season, and I say about week 6, he's gonna start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
If the Bengals if the Bengals start the season 1-5 or 1-4 or 0-5, Burrow starts.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that happening with them. Hey, I got one more question for you, man, and I'll let you go. NBA Finals pick right now. If you had to choose, who would be your NBA Finals pick? Who would win the East? Who would win the West?
Finals, my prediction, I have Milwaukee and Lakers.
Yeah. Seems like everybody's like, I got Milwaukee and the Lakers. Maestro's got Milwaukee and the Lakers, even though I think he strongly wants to pick the Clippers, but there's something going on there that, you know, is pretty questionable right now with the chemistry between Kawhi and Paul George. Even though they're winning a lot of games. They're winning games. It's just, you know, when the time matters most, you know, is that duo going to be ready to, you know, put the gas, you know, to the metal, you know, when it matters most. So I got Milwaukee in the East right now, and I got the Lakers. And I do right now have the Lakers winning the whole thing. And I don't know if it's because The whole Kobe Bryant thing, rest in peace. I don't know if it's the whole, we're going to play for Kobe and, and one thing about the NBA, they love a storyline. And this would kind of be like the perfect storyline to end the season. That, the Lakers won the chip the same year Kobe Bryant, passed away. And, that would be dope.
Yeah, it would. But right now, LeBron's playing all world.
Yep.
Even at his age and all the miles he has in his knees, he's playing all world. And right now, nobody's stopping him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If LeBron can keep up that pace and everybody on his team keep up with him, I don't see nobody beating him in the West. And right now, there's really nobody in the East that can contend with Milwaukee. Who really going to hang with them outside of Toronto?
Yeah,
there's really nobody else.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're kind of in a debate about who's going to meet the Bucks in the conference finals. Here's my thing. I like Toronto. I like what they've done this year without Kawhi Leonard, and the fact that they're even better at this point this year than they were at this point last year is kind of remarkable. I do have a question about who's going to get the rock when you need a basket and when you need the rest of your teammates to clear the court. I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to, take us home. I do have a question about the Raptors when it comes to that. When I look elsewhere in the East, I think the Celtics have that guy in Kemba Walker, even though I think this is Jason Tatum's team right now. I do think the Miami Heat have that guy in Jimmy Butler, even though he hasn't been to a conference finals yet. The Sixers, they don't got that guy. The Pacers, I do think Oladipo has tendencies of being that guy. I just think he's not 100% healthy yet coming off of the injury. I still think he's kind of trying to get his legs, back, from the injury he had last year. So really, there's really two other teams in the East that I would say I feel confident that they got a guy that, if you need the teammates to clear, get out of my way, that they got that guy. I'm just not sure that Toronto has that right now. But sometimes the best player in a series doesn't always win the series, if you get what I'm saying. Because we've seen series, and even with the Raptors, even when DeMar DeRozan was still there, like most of their series that they've played in the past, they've never had the best player on the floor in a particular series. Like I remember one year they went up against the Pacers, if I'm not mistaken, and when Paul George was still there, Paul George was playing some of his best basketball that postseason, and I thought he was the best player in the series, and yet the Raptors, took them out in 7 games. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the Raptors can't get to the conference finals. I just don't know that question about the alpha dog is answered with this, with this group of Raptors just yet.
Yeah, like you said before, there is no guy that they can be like, okay, 10 seconds on the clock, we're down 1, we need you to get this basket, take us to the championship. There's no guy like that. You can't really rely on, let's say, on Siakam. He had a great season last season, cool, but is he going to give you that same performance in the playoffs this season?
Right. Here's where I give the Raptors an edge. They got a chip already. So now they got the pedigree. Now they know what it takes, to play a championship level. Some of those guys are, the same guys from last year. So they know what it takes. And if there's anything that's gonna win them a series against the Heat or if it's the Celtics, then I think the experience is what's gonna carry them over. Because let's face it, experience-wise, Toronto's got that over Boston and Miami. But in terms of the alpha dog and the person who's going to take a game over, I would give the edge to those other two teams.
Oh, most definitely. A series between Toronto and Milwaukee, say in the conference finals. Overall, of course, I think Milwaukee will win it.
Yep.
But as far as like backcourt play, I would give that advantage to Toronto. But their backcourt is 10 times better than the Milwaukee backcourt.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of that, the toss-up, the X factor is always going to be Giannis.
Yep.
And this season, they don't have the X factor like they have with Kawhi. So it's going to be a tough one. But again, overall, I give Milwaukee the nod, and I give them the trip this season.
So you got the Bucks winning the title.
Actually, no, I got the Lakers win the title.
Oh, okay.
The Bucks in the finals.
Okay, all right, that's dope. Hey,
nobody's gonna hang. They're gonna hang with them. Hang with the Lakers in the finals.
No doubt. Hey, let the people know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, they can find me at the Panamanian Nightmare on Instagram. I also have a new show dropping later on this month called 30 Seconds of BS, starring with your boy the Mayor. That'll be dropping on Anchor, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and anywhere else you can find a podcast near you. Also, at the beginning of next month, it'll also be on iHeartRadio. So, knock on wood that goes through. Also, you can catch me on Twitter at Maserati Mayor. And shoot me a shout out. Have any questions about anything? Let me know. If any ideas you would like me to discuss on my show, by all means, DM me, and I'll gladly touch upon that. I'm open for anything. Doesn't matter to me. Anything entertaining, I'm with it.
No doubt. Hey, man, the Mayor, man, we appreciate you, giving us a few minutes of New York sports talk and a couple other things, man. So always good to have you on, man, and we'll catch up on the next go round.
Oh, definitely. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you guys again for letting me be on, let me live for a little bit. A top of New York sports, go Rangers. The hell with you Islanders, and the Devils, the hell with you too.
No doubt.
That's it.
All right, Mayor. Peace out, homie.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Yeah, that was the Mayor, a.k.a. Billionsburg, a.k.a. the Panamanian Nightmare, a.k.a. the Hispanic Causing Panic. It's my homie. We go way back at our Bishop Loughlin days back home in Brooklyn, New York. So always good to have him on. For a while and, talk some sports, particularly New York sports. So, I do got to apologize, folks. I did see that my Wi-Fi kind of cut out a little bit, and it's raining like cats and dogs over here. And, so you folks will probably miss a portion of that interview. So I apologize if you guys don't get the whole thing. But it is what it is. I try to put out good content every week, and one of the things that's incontrollable at times is this Wi-Fi. But, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Shout out to Denise Milk and Cookies in the chat. Shout out to the Mayor. Shout out to Miss Mocha Bella repping the X Squad. I see you. And, shout out to everybody that came through. Big Kev 303. Kesey, Kia, appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. This was fun. I wish the Wi-Fi didn't act up so crazy, but this was fun. Doing this thing solo, and looking forward to Maestro Styles returning next week, 100%. Getting back on to the podcast here, so. Just a few things before we get up on out of here, folks. Make sure y'all check us out on the website at barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com. Also, you can check us out on our YouTube page. So if you're a YouTube user, make sure you subscribe to our channel at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on social media, you can hit us up on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can check us out on the Facebook page also. And if you got any questions or comments about the show, you can email us at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So, nothing else, then it's your boy Trey Fraser signing off. Appreciate everybody tonight. Appreciate the support. Want to thank the mayor, the homie from Billionsburg, having him on the show. Want to thank him for doing that. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to all the people in the chat room. Appreciate you as always. Y'all have a safe week, and we'll holler at you next week. Peace.